So Adam must be delighted with the way that game finished. It would have been really harsh on your side not to come away with a point.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was quite a tight game, but I felt we maybe edged it. I don't think anybody that was neutral that looked at that game for the first time would have thought that we were the team where we are and they're the team that are going to win the title. If anything, I felt we looked like the better side. Obviously, the goal that we conceded was poor and frustrating, and the game was very scrappy then, and there wasn't really any rhythm or flow to it for probably 20-25 minutes, but the players kept going and kept believing, and felt we finished strong, and getting that goal was the least that we deserved. Just keeps the run going.
And it sort of just shows where your side are at the moment, that they didn't drop their heads against the league leaders who don't concede many goals. It would have been very easy for them to sort of think it's not going to be their day, but they kept going. And I guess having 4 wins in a row helps with that belief.
Yeah, well, I think we've been developing that over a period of time now. It's 10 unbeaten. And then within that, we've gone behind and we've come back and drawn, we've come back and won. And you've got to have the belief as a team that you can do that. We haven't been giving many goals away at all. That was a sloppy goal, obviously a bit fortuitous because it's had a bit of a deflection, but I thought the way that we stuck in there and we kept going, because I don't think they threatened our goal at all after that goal, and they kept breaking the game up, taking the time on everything. The referee let a lot go, and as I said, it was very stop-start, no real rhythm to it, but our lads kept the discipline, kept the concentration, and you could just sense we were growing in belief as the game went on. We certainly finished stronger, and as I said, I think getting that goal and the draw is the least that we deserved today.
And yeah, it keeps that unbeaten run going, and the way you're finishing the season's maybe a bit of work still to do to secure safety, but you can start maybe looking forward to next season a bit with a bit more confidence.
Well, it makes it easier to plan for the future when you've got more points on the board. But I mean, I've studied it many times, and even in the dark times when it was hard and we were losing, and you couldn't see where the next goal was coming from at times, let alone the next point. But I have confidence in myself and in my staff and in my players, and I said all along that if we just stuck together and we could recruit right, and over a period of time we would continue to get better, and we have done. And to be 10 unbeaten in this league is no mean feat, because it's really hard every single game. And I'm just pleased for the players, pleased for the supporters that, after a season which has been probably a bit underwhelming, that we're finishing it now stronger. We're giving the supporters something to get behind, and they must be enjoying watching the team get results regularly at the moment. And as a group, we've got to just keep going right till the end of the season, and try and finish this run that we're on with as much momentum as we can. We've got 18 points still to play for. We still need a few more, but I'm confident that we'll get those. And we just got to keep working now for the last few weeks of the season, and then carry that come the 1st of July and see where it takes us next year.
Because the last few weeks has been about beating the teams around you, making sure you pick up those points, but this game, and you've got Scunthorpe away next, is a chance to really test yourselves against the best in the league, and this is a really good way to start.
Well, we've been tested against the best in the league today, because they're going to win the league by a handful of points. Scunthorpe's going to be a completely different challenge, because you're obviously away from home, big club, big fan base, massive budget, big squad. They play a completely different brand and style of football to what Tamworth do, and we've got to prepare and get ready for it, which we will do. But the lads now, they can have a couple of days off, and then we'll be back in getting ready for that game.
Just a word on the fans as well, because it's one of the biggest crowds of the season today, and it was great that they got rewarded for that, because as you said, it's been a difficult season, but that moment today just felt like one that's been coming for a long while.
Oh yeah, but we've got to have belief and a mentality that we can go toe to toe with any team in the division, and that today, obviously, because we've won the real pressure games against the clubs in and around us in the last 2-3 weeks. It kind of enabled us to come into this game today with maybe a little bit less pressure on us, but we want that pressure and expectation of trying to get points on a regular basis. And I think I said in my programme notes, it would be a real opportunity for us today to show how far we've come since we played them in November, because we were well beaten in November. The team, it's like night and day what we are now to what we were then, and that's just in a short space of time. So we've come a long way, but there's still a long way to go.
And just finally, the chairman's been saying sort of in the last couple of days that the plan was always to stay full time. How much does that help you and the players as well, provide a bit of security knowing that their jobs and their livelihoods are still going to be there next season because the club's staying full time?
Well, I never had any doubts really. I think if to be honest with you, me and the chair, we've not even really spoken about it. We've never, going down, not being full time. We've not had any discussions about it really, because I think I've had confidence that we get it right, and I think he's had confidence that we get where we need to get to. And whilst we're not 100% there yet, we are very, very close. But of course, it's reassuring, and I think being full time, it does add extra pressure on us because, like you said, it's our livelihoods. The lads come in, they get paid. We're not a full time team getting thousands of pounds a week. We're working hard every day to pay the bills, and there obviously is that pressure and expectation on us to be and do better. But now that we've kind of put ourselves in a really strong position, we've just got to keep that going, and as I say, get to the end of the season, try and finish it as strong as we can. And then next year we've got to come back with a real intent of being, at the opposite end of the division.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
I think you should have got a penalty in the first half.
That's Johnny Margetts, yeah. I don't know. I think it doesn't surprise me that he didn't give it. But Johnny's got to the ball first, and their lads booted Johnny. So laws of the game, and why is it not a penalty? But I don't want to talk about referees today too much.
I wonder why. Just talking about individuals then, a different individual, Cameron Hargreaves is probably still running somewhere. I mean, he's got an enormous amount of work he got through today, and a lot of good work as well.
Yeah, I thought him and George in the middle of the park today were brilliant. Just always there, landing on second balls, landing on things and breaking through that midfield line. The pair of them, they've forged a real good relationship, both on and off the pitch. Cameron's been superb since I came here. I think there's still aspects of his game that he can and will improve, but he's an important player for us, for sure.
And talking about partnerships in that first half, early on, I think probably more Johnny and Ben Stevens looked really working together well, weren't they?
Yeah, they've got a good understanding. There were quite a lot of balls that landed in that first half, in that little pocket of space between the centre halves and the midfield players. Ben landed on a lot of things, and Johnny was always looking to work off the shoulder as he did, and we were unfortunate on numerous occasions. But yeah, they're developing a relationship and an understanding, and it's like any team and any kind of partnerships on the pitch. We're getting stronger the more that we're able to name a settled side. You only have to look at how many goals we've conceded in the last, 8, 9, 10 games. It's not many, and that's because in the main we've had a consistency of selection and players developing relationships and understanding, and that's the same right across the pitch, not just with obviously Johnny and Ben.
I know you've done very, very well to earn a point against the leaders. Is there a little bit of you thinks a little bit of disappointment it wasn't all three, because you did really, like you said, the last 20 was all that direction, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was really pleasing to see, that we had that belief and that confidence that there's something here for us. We kept going. We didn't just let the game peter out and think, 1-0, we've given top of the league a good game, but we've not quite got anything out of it. The players were determined to keep going to the end and get something out of it, and that's this kind of mentality and belief that you've got to have, that you keep going right to the end. So a little bit of disappointment perhaps, because I did feel that if one team showed a little bit more, it was probably us. Don't think Jonah's really had anything to do. Their keeper's not had much to do either, but I thought there were one or two moments where we were unlucky. Very tight game, which we anticipated, but we've gone toe to toe there with a team that's going to go up as champions, and we've got to take great belief and confidence from that.
And you mentioned the game that you lost 3-1.
Yeah.
And that was only in November, but not far into your time here. It's between the years that you've changed a lot with the players? Because I think there's 6 or 7 players that have played in both of the games against Tamworth. But is it the mental issue that you've said you've changed them mentally?
Well, look, I'd like to think so. I'm a believer that you can beat anybody at anything if you believe you can. I think without kind of going over things that we've said in the past and looking too far back, probably everybody, myself included, underestimated just what situation we were in when we came into the club. We're bottom of the league, 8 points after 10 games. Players not fit enough, no organisation, no day-to-day standards, lack of confidence. Some players playing that were shouldn't have been anywhere near this level of football. And we've had to work really hard, not just myself and Sam and the other staff, but the players. The players have bought into everything that we've asked them to do. And even when it was really tough in December, we had a terrible run, we stuck together, we kept going, kept believing. I think the recruitment that we had made in January, bringing Owen in, then bringing Greg, bringing Dylan, and then of course Johnny in. I think them 4 players coming in with Sam being back available just added more experience, more know-how, and just good characters to the group. And since then we've not really looked back. We work hard day to day in training. The lads come in, they apply themselves properly. They enjoy one another's company. There's a real good buzz around the training ground now day to day. They come in, they have a laugh, but when it's work time, they work really hard. And we've done a lot of repetition on shape and our organisation, patterns, crossing, finishing. And I feel like game by game we're seeing more and more of that within games, which is what we want. But the players deserve all the credit for that because they've got to apply themselves properly day to day and carry that into the games, and they have been doing. And obviously then you pick up a few results and your confidence grows and you put points on the board, and then you have some good results against some good sides, and your mentality and your belief improves. And that's kind of where we're at the minute. But for us to have gone and got up to 50 points with 6 games to go, we've got to the target now that we set before the Brackley game.
He'll be happy then.
Before that Brackley game, we sat down and spoke to players. We said we need to get to 50 points. At that time, we felt that would be enough. That was 18 points we needed to get from 14 games, and we've got 18 points from 8, which is tremendous, really. And now, we're not quite, as I said to you the other day, we've had to adapt that a little bit. We probably need, a couple more maybe. But we've got 6 games to go, and we've just got to go into every one now with confidence, believing that we can compete and get a few more points on the board.
Scunthorpe, you probably don't have the worst team talk for that, do you? Because it's all in front of them, isn't it? Big crowds, a team that's real good to sort of cut down the big poppy, I think they say.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's another game where they're going to be under pressure, aren't they? Because they still have a little glimmer that they can maybe catch Tamworth, which I don't think they will. But they've got Chorley breathing down the necks for second, and for that playoff home advantage, which is, their place with it packed out, they'll obviously be looking to get. So there's pressure on them, which club the size of Scunthorpe in this league, there'll be pressure on them in every game. But for us, we can go and enjoy it. We can go and enjoy it. We've beaten them once before. Beat them when I was at Curzon as well. So, some teams you just have a little bit of extra luck against, and hopefully we can get a little bit more next week. Go and enjoy the game, but we've got to go there believing that we can get another result.
That would be quite a unique treble if we could pull it off next week, wouldn't it? Beating them 3 times in the season.
It would. Yeah, it would. But look, they're a good side. They are a good side. They've got good players. We've not even really thought about that game at all, to be honest. We've just been fully focused on one game at a time. And as I said, now we can go there and enjoy it, make another good account of ourselves, and we go there with confidence that we can get something.
I mean, it's rumoured they've got a massive budget. Does that basically do your team talk for you? The fact that they're spending big, you're not spending big. Do you need to say any more to the players than that?
Not really. I think, at the end of the day, like budgets, they can help you, but they can also not help you, because as any manager with whatever budget you've got, it boils down to your recruitment. You know, and you're only as good as the players that you put on the pitch week to week. So, you know, it's irrelevant really. But the lads, how can they not be up for it? You know, we're away at Scunthorpe, they're the biggest club in the division by a distance. You know, there'll be a good crowd on. It's Easter weekend. You know, we've got to 50 points with 6 games to go, so we're close to where we probably need to be, although not there yet. And they can just go and enjoy it and make enough good account of ourselves and try and cause an upset if we can.
I take it Ross Barrows can't play next week.
No, he can't. He can't play. Which it is what it is. But we obviously knew that Keane would be back for that game. It was important that we got somebody of Ross's quality and to cover the last 3 games. While obviously Keane's been away, but Ross has been brilliant in every game he's played. So it's good that we've obviously got Keane back for that game, and a great game for him to come back into. But got a right old headache for the one on the Monday, haven't I? But that's what I want, headaches.
Just one more for me. You're almost where you want to be now. When you look at the squad you've got, what do you think, or how much is it going to take now to get a squad that's going to compete, you know, with the teams at the top? I mean, you've proved you can, but what do you think you need now for next season going forward?
Well, I'm a big believer in consistency, and I don't like a revolving door of players. We've had to give the squad quite major surgery in this, 6 months, but I like the group I've got, and I think we've got a lot in that group. So we're naturally going to lose the lads who are on loan, but I don't feel like we need to bring in as many as we maybe did 3 or 4 months ago because of the recruitment we were able to do in January. Obviously, you've got Greg and knowing that their loans will come to an end at the end of the season. We'll have to just see what happens on that front. But I think that some of the other lads that maybe people thought it could be the last year, I think they've got so much more to give after, where we've got them to in that 6 months and where they'll be after, one of our pre-seasons. And I think some of the other players have improved in that 6 months as well. So, we'll need to add probably 6 to 8 players in the summer. It's fair to say we need to bring in, quality. But as I say, I do like this group, and we've showed in the last 10 games that we're building a resilience and a mentality that we can compete and we can pick up points on a regular basis, and that's what you need to do in this league. So it'll come down to a good summer of recruitment just to add to what we've got, and hopefully we can, be competing at the other end of the league next year.
And the fact that you are staying full time, does that make your job easier now, attracting the players? I know when you tried to bring 1 or 2 in because of where you were in the league, they've said no. But if you stay up, does that make your job easier in attracting them to the club?
I'll have to wait and see. You'd like to think so. Like for me, and I know it's easy for me to stand here now and say it, and I must repeat that I don't consider that we're home and dry yet, because this league just flips, so quickly, and we're very close, I think, but I do think we'll probably need to get a few more points, but I'm also confident that we will get them. But I've always had confidence that we'll get where we need to get to in terms of next season. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to come here. It's a great club, we're full time, and we've got ambition, next year to kick on. So we'll just have to see.